Good morning, everybody. Sorry for the hiatus. I am back from the Tony Robbins event and I got my voice back so I can say hey to everybody again. So a tremendous weekend, tremendous time. My first in-person event in 3.5 years and my first one officially as a trainer, which was super cool. I got to take care of the crew that I used to always take care of. So I was standing in line with a bunch of people who are regulars at the event, and somebody asked me, what are your 3 biggest takeaways from all of the Tony Robbins events that you've ever been at? You know, what a great question. So I said, well, that's hard to do, but I would say this. Number 1 is that state is everything. If you're able to manage your state, then you have everything. If you're not able to manage your state, then you have nothing. Your state is how you feel at any given moment. And if you can manage that, then when crises come, you're going to be able to respond to those in a way that is positive, beneficial, able to move you forward, as opposed to respond to those in a way where you don't do very well and make a bad decision or have a bad response and you move yourself backwards. So number 1, state is everything. Number 2, I would say is all of our responses are a choice. Whatever happens, we can't control, but we can always control our response to whatever happens. And it's a corollary to number 1, but it's a great distinction to remember. We know we need to manage our state, but you also need to understand that you have the ability to do that no matter what. 2 people can have the exact same experience and have 2 completely opposite approaches to that. It's the old story of there's twins that were born and their dad was a horrible alcoholic and abusive and all of these things, and one ends up in prison and one ends up married, a great parent, a great spouse, and incredibly successful. And when they asked the guy that was incredibly successful, why are you so successful? He goes, because of my dad. I never wanted to have my kids live the same life that I lived. And so I made a dedication that I was going to create a different environment. I was going to be a different guy. I was going to be a role model. I was going to be a different type of spouse. You know, I watched my dad as a warning and I was never going to be like that. Then they asked his twin brother who was in prison, why are you in prison? And he said, because of my dad. He was abusive, he was an alcoholic, and so I never had a chance in life, and I never had any love, and I never had any compassion, and so as a result, I ended up in prison. So 2 people with the exact same experience, but yet they have 2 completely different lives. Anderson Cooper is a great example of this. He had a twin brother, they're both Vanderbilts. They had everything kind of given to them, but they also had, not a great family life. And his twin brother ended up overdosing, and Anderson Cooper ends up Anderson Cooper. So in addition to managing your state, the distinction of we decide what our response is. We can't control events, but we can control our response. And it's in that moment of decision that really decides your destiny, that gap between event, stimulus and response that decides the quality of your life. So that's the second biggest takeaway for me from every Tony Robbins event. The third biggest takeaway, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to say it's a tie. The 3A is whatever it is that you want to achieve, the more specific you are with regards to that outcome, the better you're going to be able to achieve it. So when you set a goal is a dream with a deadline. When you set a goal, be incredibly specific with regards to that goal. What do you want? You don't just say, I want more money. Okay, well, here's $1. Now you have more money. I want to lose weight. Okay, you need to be very specific. I want to look like this, be like this, have this by this date. Okay, by this time, by this date, I will create this outcome. The more specific the goal, then the more likely it is that you're going to achieve it. 3B is, of my top 3, that living life with gratitude will take away all of your suffering. At the end of the day, we can achieve all these outcomes that we want, but really it isn't the outcomes that we want. It's the feelings that we think the outcomes are going to give us. That's what we really want. We want those feelings. And the reality is you can have the feelings right now. And the greatest feeling to start with is gratitude, because when you start with gratitude, all fear goes away. So starting every morning with gratitude, starting your day with gratitude, remembering to have gratitude, filling yourself up with gratefulness for everything around you, for everything that you have, will put you in this beautiful state and will help you with all of the things that I just talked about. It will help you manage your state. It will help you make good decisions with regards to what your response is going to be to everything that happens. It'll allow you to not have fears, so you'll be a lot more specific with regards to your outcomes, and it will allow you to achieve what you really want, which is the feelings that you think all of those outcomes are going to give you. So those are my biggest takeaways from going to however many Tony Robbins events that I've gone to. That's my synopsis of the things that he talks about that are the most important. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you very, very much for watching. I'm going to say hi to everybody. Dolores is here this morning. Deanne is on board. Austin, so good to see you, brother. I'm glad things are going so well. Thank you again for everything you've done for me. Drinka, you're here. Thank you so much. I hope California is great. And Libby is here. Thank you, everybody, for being here. It's great to see you. Have an awesome day. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other.